What's up, Big Bear Nation? Welcome back to the homestead. So back in November, the week right of Thanksgiving, that Monday evening, we had a brand new calf, whom we have lovingly now named Neville. And for about 2 weeks, everything was going great. Thelma was a great mom. Neville was latching on, standing up, running around. That was until December 1st. It was a Thursday. And our family, from the Sunday after Thanksgiving on, had been fighting what we're pretty sure was the flu or something like it. And so for all of that time, we had been up and down, still doing chores, chasing pigs in the rain. So it was taking us a while to recuperate. Well, on December 1st, that evening, LaDessa went to milk, and we found that Thelma was not getting up. So we all came out together, Jason, me, Carol, and LaDessa, and we started trying to rock her, move her. And if you remember in the video where she was pregnant and in labor, we had a problem with her getting up that was very easily fixed by just giving her food. So we tried to give her food to see if that would motivate her to stand up. And that's when we realized that this was a bigger problem than we thought. Now, one of the concerns right away was this guy. Since she was down, he wasn't able to nurse as well. She would lay over, and this is what gets me, is Thelma was such a good mom that she would lay over completely on her side, risking the fact that she would die of bloat just so that he could nurse. And she would flop over onto one side and then flop over onto the other to be able to let him nurse. Now, it had been 2+ weeks since he was born, so we knew he had gotten all of his colostrum, and that's where Louise comes in. We knew we could take Louise's milk and supplement him with feeding and let Thelma focus on getting better. So first thing on Friday morning, we went out to see if maybe she had moved a little bit, or she had tried to get up. Maybe she was up walking around, and she wasn't. So we very quickly started to try and reach out to people that have tractors in our area, because as you know, we're searching for a tractor, but we haven't purchased one yet. Now, originally she was in this stall with Louise and the baby, but unfortunately, this goes down on a slope, and as she would try to get up, she slowly started making her way down this hill, and that made it even more challenging for us to try and get her to sit upright, because she was having to fight gravity to stay what they call sternal. So I started reaching out to people in our area through Facebook to see if I could find anybody that would be willing to use their tractor to come help us lift her up and move her. Now, we've been in this area for over 9 years, and we haven't really made a whole lot of good contacts for farm related things. We've just recently found somebody who is dependable with hay, and so reaching out to somebody to try and get them to come over and use their tractor for us, to me, felt like it was gonna be a no-go. Now, this situation has been a help in 2 different ways. One, we were able to make a few contacts with people who do have tractors and big hearts willing to help us out. So I have a little bit more faith in Elbert County now. 2, we were able to throw out there, what veterinarian services do you recommend? And we got a lot of really good feedback. And we're able to find one that was able to come out on Saturday, because Friday we tried to lift her up, move her. She stood up, kind of, you know, did her thing, and everything seemed to be okay, but she still wasn't standing up on her own. So Saturday we were able to get a veterinarian out here to take a look at her. I'm thinking she doesn't feel like she has metritis, which is just infection and inflammation after the birth has calves. She's not running hot. Mastitis, I don't see any mastitis on her because her bag doesn't feel warm and it feels good. I don't see any obvious signs of trauma other than an old injury on the leg. I think that what we should do now is run her some calcium, and we're going to do an IV. We have to do it really, really slowly, so we're going to be here for a little bit.
That's okay.
So we don't send her into cardiac arrest. I think she's just energy imbalance that she has right now. She's just not having enough energy and stores to get her up.
Okay.
Because one, she has calf and it's nursing her. Two, she's high milk producer, and so these dairy cows are notorious for that. Some get up, some don't.
Okay.
I think it's important to keep her sternal on her chest. If they lay lateral, they bloat up and die.
Okay.
So don't let her lay on her side. That's not good.
Okay.
Big animals on their side are not good. Do you have hip lifts or anything like that?
We literally had to use toe straps earlier to try and get her up.
You can use toe straps.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't want to get up, you're going to have to get her up and move those legs around and get her standing. I do that several times a day, just trying to get pressure off those joints, because the longer she's down, the longer likelihood that she isn't
not going to get back up.
Because they're big, they're heavy, they lay on those nerves and they'll cause nerve paralysis. I see that a lot. They've been down, those nerves get shot. So we crossed our fingers and we waited after the vet had come and gone. And on Sunday, she still wasn't standing up. So we reached out to the vet again, and they told us that we could rent some hip lifters, and that if we could get some hip lifters on her and just move her every once in a while, that may help her and encourage her to stand back up on her own. We came back with the hip lifters, started lifting her, putting her down, and again, we're relying on people to come over and help us out.
All right, there, whoa.
There we go.
Whoa. Whoa. Go down just a little.
Okay,
I mean a smudge.
her feet are touching the ground. Just right there, right there.
Right there, whoa. Just let her sit here for just a second. All right, give me slack. All right, right here, whoa.
Okay, don't anybody look, but that strap's not touching her right now.
I know. She's up. Good rush to that.
Nope.
Whoop, whoop.
Then she went back down.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Ah! She tried to rush it to get to the hay.
Now, some of you are probably asking, like, at what point do you just give up? Now, we have had a situation before where a cow went down, but almost immediately she showed no sign of wanting to get back up. And that's what was different with Thelma, is that she kept trying to get up. I mean, she even made her way, you know, 20-25 feet down a hill trying to get up. So we figured as long as she was still giving us effort, we were still going to try to help her. We called Doc, our acupuncturist, and he actually came out and did a treatment on her back legs, because one of the things that we noticed was when she was trying to walk, that her back hoof would kind of buckle down at the ankle. And I asked the vet about that, and she said that it was probably a pinched nerve. We were getting out there every day, moving her from side to side to try and prevent her from, you know, paralyzing a leg or pinching a nerve or anything like that. But we did notice that. So Doc came out, did a treatment, and kind of got those back legs moving again. So we thought we were on the upside of everything. She was starting to get more interested in food again and water again. And so we were still giving her maximum effort. Something happened Saturday evening, I think. All of a sudden, Sunday morning, she just didn't seem like she was about it anymore. It was like all of her effort was just futile. I think she kind of just started realizing that every time she tried to get up, it was just not productive. Now on Sunday, we were actually butchering because Saturday afternoon, we had put down a pig, and Sunday, we were gonna actually be breaking it up and butchering it. And we put her up, and I went and looked at her, and she just didn't look like she was interested anymore. She had basically just kind of given up. So we put her back down, and she laid down, and she looked like she was just gonna kind of rest. And I was telling Jason, I said, you know, this has been a big ordeal on her. She's probably just tired. So she laid down. Well, Sunday evening, we knew that it was gonna be kind of cold. And so Jason was going to send Ladessa out with a blanket. Even though she was bundled up with hay and inside of the hay barn, Ladessa was still terrified that she was gonna be too cold. So we grabbed an old blanket and we went to go out there to take it to her. And about a minute and a half later, Ladessa came in bawling. Thelma had died. Some people will say, well, that's just the way it is with animals, blah, 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 it's life, got to accept it, all that stuff. And yes, animals do die. Most of the time it's because we want them to die so we can eat, but in some situations you have this kind of thing happen. I will say that while it is sad that it happened, this experience has been a wealth of knowledge and teaching time. The first thing that we learned very quickly was that our search for a tractor was very much justified. We absolutely did need a tractor. 2, know the age of the dairy cow that you're buying. We were told that this cow was closer to 4-ish years old, but after talking with the vet, she was closer to 8 years old. Now that may not seem like a big deal if it's a homestead cow that you know has been on a homestead kind of thing, but this was a cow from a dairy, and 8 years is kind of towards the expiration time. So she had this last calf in her, and that was about it. 3, we were able to, like I said before, meet a lot of new people that were very helpful during the whole situation. Our hay guy was able to give us some information before we even talked to the vet about things to look for. The 2 gentlemen that came out and helped us lift the cow. The numerous people that gave us feedback about the different veterinarian services in the area, who to call, phone numbers, the whole 9. We were also able to find out that one of the veterinarian services, at least one that we know of, rents hip lifters. Now, if you've ever priced a hip lifter, they're like almost $500. And this place was able to rent it to us for less than $10 a day. And in most situations, you're not going to use it for very long. So it's definitely worth renting rather than purchasing if you're only going to have 1 or 2 dairy cows. Speaking of which, that's another thing that we learned that we did do right, which was having that secondary cow still in milk. Had we not had Luis, we would have been buying milk replacer or really quick trying to convert him over to feed, and that probably would not have been the best of situations. Now, some of y'all may be asking, you know, why did we put so much effort into this cow even after we found out how old she was? And part of that was because she was our homestead cow. We loved Thelma. I can tell you that all 4 of us have grieved the loss of her. We absolutely loved petting on her and getting hugs from her. and getting milk from her. You know, we worked really hard when she first got here. She had been, you know, had a cold or whatever, and her milk production was not great. So we put in a lot of effort to bring her production up to where it was the better of the two. And, you know, we really enjoyed all of the benefits that we got from her, including her love. And so this has definitely been a significant loss for us, not just because of the milk, but because of the friend that we called Thelma. Now, if you've been here with us for a while, or if you're new, know that we're not just gonna always bring you the fun, happy stuff. We wanna bring you the stuff that's hard, the stuff that teaches us lessons, and this was definitely one of them. So we hope that you were able to learn from our loss, and hopefully you'll have a few things that you know about so you don't get into this same situation. Thank you for stopping by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless, and have a nice day.